singular, and to ask a question about a non-count noun, we use how much. How many? Count nouns. How much? Non-count nouns. Let's practice. What can you buy in the deli section, Monica?
You can buy some meat and some cheese.
Very good. And what can you buy in the produce department, Rosa?
You can buy some fruit.
Excellent. How much sugar did you buy the last time you were in a grocery store, Lewis?
I didn't buy any sugar. I didn't buy any cola. I had grocery stores.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Now it's time to look and listen.
Look and listen.
There are 70 shopping carts in this grocery store. There is a children's seat in each cart. I think the orange juice is in aisle 6. The bread at that market is not very good.
Read and repeat.
Now let's see how we can use count nouns and non-count nouns together. Have a look at these examples. Jay bought a bag of sugar at the grocery store. He also bought a bar of soap. They don't have any bottles of ketchup at the market. Henry didn't need a bunch of bananas. Well, non-count nouns include ideas. For example, history and knowledge. These are ideas. They also include emotions. Emotions, for example, love, hate. Activities, tennis. Things you can measure. Things you can measure. For example, gasoline. You can measure gasoline. You can measure rice. And things you can group together. For example, you can group together furniture, chairs, sofa, stools, furniture. So ideas, history, knowledge. Emotions, love, hate, for example. Activities such as tennis. Things you can measure, gasoline, rice, and things you can group together, for example, furniture. Now we can give specific amounts to either count nouns or non-count nouns by using certain units of measurement. Units of measurement. Let's have a look at some units of measurement now. We have a bag. We can use a bag with sugar, which is non-count, or a bag of potatoes and potato chips, which are countable. We have a bar of candy, uncountable, or a bar of hard soap, also uncountable. Next we have a bottle of detergent, a bottle of soda, a bottle of juice, a box of cereal or a box of detergent, a bunch, usually fruit, a bunch of bananas, a bunch of grapes, a can of soup, beans, tuna, and soda. A can is also like a tin, sometimes called a tin or a can. A carton of eggs, milk, or cigarettes. A carton is like a box. We can have a cup, a a tablespoon or a teaspoon. We use this with liquid and dry ingredients. Okay, next we have a dozen, usually just for eggs, but another example is loaves of bread, a dozen loaves of bread, or a dozen eggs. A gallon, a pint or a quart of liquids, for example milk or something like ice cream. A jar of mayonnaise, a jam or a jar of mustard. Loaf of bread, so not breads, but one loaf of bread or two loaves of bread. Next we have a package of potato chips or a package of spaghetti. A piece of cake, a piece of pie or a piece of meat. A pound or a kilo, a pound of meat or a kilo of meat, and a pound or kilo of cheese. A roll of paper towels or a roll of toilet paper, a stick of butter, and finally a tube of toothpaste. Now these units of measurement are used this way. You have the unit of measurement plus of plus the count or non-count noun. Now note that dozen does not have of. So dozen eggs is not dozen of eggs, just a dozen eggs. So unit of measurement of count, non-count noun. For example, a bag of potato chips or a bag of sugar. Let's practice. Lewis, what did your mother buy the last time she went to a grocery store?
I don't know, maybe she bought 2 loaves of bread.
Okay, thank you. What did you buy last time, Monica?
I bought 4 bottles of Fanta and 2 cartons of milk.
I love milk. What did you buy, Rosa?
I bought a jar of raspberry jam, 2 sticks of butter, and a loaf of bread. I love toast with butter and jam.
That's good. Thank you, everybody. Now it's time for a piece of Look and Listen.
Look and listen.
You can't buy cartons of cigarettes in that store. Please buy a carton of ice cream for the party. We need some rolls of paper towels from the store. Helen purchased a half dozen eggs at the market.
Read and repeat. Participles.
Now let's talk about participles. Please have a look at these examples. Mike thinks shopping is boring. He feels bored. It is a confusing supermarket. They are confused shoppers. The present participle is formed this way. The present participle is the simple form of the verb plus ing. And the past participle is formed by the simple form plus ed. Some participles can be used as adjectives, and examples of these adjectives are Present participle, boring, past, bored. Present, interesting, past, interested. Present, frustrating, past, frustrated. Present, confusing, past, confused. Present, amusing, past, amused. Present, exciting, past, excited. And present, surprising, past, surprised. Well, let's look at when they are used. The present participle expresses how the subject affects someone or something. The first sentence expresses the effect shopping has on Mike. The present participle conveys an active meaning. The noun it modifies does something. So Mike thinks shopping is boring. This means, let's put that on the board. Mike thinks shopping is boring. So shopping is boring. This means shopping bores Mike. In the third sentence, the noun supermarket does something. It confuses. Thus, it is described as a confusing supermarket. It is a confusing supermarket. This means the supermarket confuses people, shall we say. The past participle expresses how the subject feels about someone or something. In the second sentence, what Mike thinks about shopping is expressed. The past participle conveys a passive meaning. We say, he feels bored. If we think of it as like a passive sentence, he feels bored by shopping. He feels bored, it's the same as he feels bored by shopping, or he feels bored with shopping. It's the same. In the fourth sentence, the shoppers are confused by something, and they are described as confused shoppers. So we write, they are confused shoppers. This is the same as they are confused by something. Well, actually, in this situation, they are confused by the supermarket. So we have, they are confused shoppers. This is the same as they are confused by or confused with the supermarket. Well, let's practice. Do you understand, Monica?
I think so. It's a little confusing.
So you are confused then.
Yeah.
It shows what you feel about a subject. It's confusing, so you use the present participle. Mm-hmm. Good. Lewis, what do you think about shopping at the grocery store?
I hate it. It's boring. I'm bored to death.
Very good. Monica, what about you?
It's interesting when I have money. When I have a lot of money, everything interests me.
Me too. And what about you, Rosa?
I will use a word I learned last week. Shopping is fascinating for me. Watching the people fascinates me. Great job.
And now it's time for you to be interested in our fascinating look and listen.
Look and listen.
Shopping with children is annoying. Shopping with older people can be tiring. Jason is always annoyed when he shops with his children. Fred is always tired after shopping in the grocery store.
Read and repeat.